Guys, Mac here. So life is all about ripple effects, and all things in life somehow they are connected with each other directly or indirectly. And sometimes there is a reason why certain things happen in our life. We just need to be more cognizant about that. We just need to be more appreciative about that, so that then it allows us to put right perspectives around that. So having said that, also there is something called circumstances, right? That is sometimes you really cannot change it. So many a times we think that if I would have done certain things in my past life, my life would have been different, right? So as a part of that, there are 2 points. Number one is circumstances, and number two is your intentional or unintentional action. Circumstances is something which is beyond your control. That is something you really cannot really get hold of. That is something beyond changeable, so to speak. But your actions is something that is in within your control. And as a part of that, right, one thing that was popping up into my mind was your past doesn't dictate your future. And what is happening right now with social media revolution, internet, it has completely changed the ball game. It has become like a level playing field. And what used to be the case like about 10, 15, 20 years back, when I came into this country, right? I came here to take a higher education. I had a bachelor's degree. I then acquired master's degree because that was the only avenue, that was the only channel that I knew of to succeed in life, right? When I came here about more than 20 years back, uh, internet was not in existence. It was not existing, and as a result, I had no other avenues to come here except for coming here for higher degrees. But then, in early 1990s, the job market exploded. US was more appreciative of the fact of outsourcing uh, like a high skilled labor from countries like India, China. And then we saw like a big spike took place in terms of higher skilled immigrants coming here. But overall, the point that I'm trying to make that if you had to become successful, you typically used to have a higher degree. And that is not the case anymore with the internet, social media. It has completely opened up the entire field. It has become like a level playing field, and we are witnessing that even the college graduates who don't have like a Harvard degree, engineering degree, master's degree, they are right now dominating on social media. Now there is a dark side to that, but I'm not going to get into that in terms of how people are able to buy the likes, engagement through the bots, all those things. But keeping that aside for a moment, we are seeing that a lot of youngsters are becoming successful with the internet, social media. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that your past doesn't dictate the future. And there are two angles to that. Number one, which is what I just made, was basically youngsters, right, without having like a prior college degree, which used to be sort of norm to become successful in career, in your life. Internet has completely decimated that notion. And the second thing is that is basically all about uh, our dwelling. Sometimes we keep on dwelling. Sometimes we contemplate that if I would have done certain things in my past life, my life could have been different today, right? And there are two angles to that. Number one is your circumstances. That is something that you were just given. You were not born with those circumstances. So that is something that was beyond your control. And then the other part of that is your intentional or non-intentional actions that you might have taken in your past career, right? So as a part of your past doesn't dictate your future. One angle is we are seeing youngsters making it up big time with minimal knowledge of the so-called college education, and they are right now dominating. I know a lot of people like that, and I'm actually following them as we speak. I'm learning from them, even though I am bigger than their age, and age is just a number basically right now. So long as you are able to learn something, even from people who are really trying to make it, I think I really don't mind listening to them. I really don't mind learning from them. So that is one angle, right? Youngsters are making it up. They are making it big time without having college degrees. The second angle is your past doesn't dictate your future, is basically uh, the dwellings that we sometimes try to take pride, and then we try to create like a sympathy zone around us, and then thereby, because we are creating that sympathy zone, then it allows us to not achieve. We sort of give ourselves permission not to succeed, right? And interestingly enough, there was one movie that had a great message. It wasn't like a great blockbuster movie. The movie's name was Mr. Destiny. Not sure how many of you have seen that, but it had a great cast in that. It was a light-hearted movie, so there was James Belushi, there was Michael Caine, then there was Linda Hamilton, Rene Russo, John Lloyd, all great actors. Light-hearted movie, and the gist of the movie was that James Belushi was like an ordinary guy, and then he keeps cursing himself as to why his life is not better than what it could have been, and he keeps going back to one critical point in his high school time, where he feels guilty of not winning, not letting his team win the baseball game, the high school championship game. And then he keeps on self-pitying, saying that had I not struck that ball, right, I would have won that championship for the school. My career would have been completely different. I would have married my boss's secretary. I would have been the president, so on and so forth, right? So he goes into all these kind of tangents. And then the point is that he has created some kind of environment around him which he's not happy about, and because he lives in his past. And Michael Caine is shown as an angel. He comes out of nowhere, and then he basically grants James Belushi his wish of his so-called ideal life that he was desiring for. And then all of a sudden, James Belushi has been transformed into this like hi-fi company executive. He is married to his boss's daughter. All the amenities are there. He's really like a rich person, and sometimes with good comes bad things. And then, as a part of living his new life, it has been shown that a lot of bad things start to happen, like lawsuits, and then no trust amongst his colleagues, and so on and so forth, right? And then he starts to despise this. He starts to despise that new life, and then he keeps going back to his past life, and then thinks that, oh man, whatever I had was really good, really better than what I'm experiencing, and what I thought would have been heaven, it is not really heaven, right? So I think the gist of the story is that he realizes that his past is something that he can take pride in, and then he has to deal with the hand whatever life has given him, and the only thing that he can do is to think of future by changing today's quote unquote present tense, right? I think that is what I was thinking about. Basically, your past doesn't dictate your future. With internet, it has completely opened lot many avenues. If you know how to market yourself, if you know how to position yourself, if you know how to reach out to the market that is struggling, you can become like a pivotal solution provider in those people's lives. So that is number one, right? Number two is basically um, by dwelling in the past, right? By keep on contemplating of how things would have been different, you really cannot change anything that is going to happen to the future. So the sooner you try to come out of your past, the sooner it is going to be better. And the only way you can move away from your past is by taking massive action in terms of what is that you are trying to achieve, what is that you want to achieve for the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever that thing might be, right? And very quickly, right, I'll take this example of myself. Basically, I had everything going on not too many years back in terms of my job. I had a stable salary, I had a good job, I was making good. I thought I was set in life, and then all of a sudden my job got impacted. So whatever I thought that I was holding precious in terms of my title, salary, the relationship that I had built while I was with that company, they were practically got vanished as soon as my job got affected. My back was against the wall. I didn't know what exactly to do, and I didn't also necessarily want to keep on doing whatever I was doing. And then I started getting into branding, social media. I built my brand steadily, and I was also fortunate enough to write or co-write books with some of the heavy hitters, such as Brian Tracy, who is known as one of the world's foremost thought leaders. I was also able to co-author book with Facebook CIO Tim Campos, Pizza Hut CIO, their digital officer Brian Concourse. Then I also was able to basically write my own solo book on digital marketing, right? And the net effect, right? I just shot one video a couple of days back, and the net effect, what is happening right now is Amazon, right? Amazon has become rather other search engine out there, just like Google, just like YouTube, right? And Amazon, as I was searching on my footprint on Amazon, I realized that Amazon is able to rank me among the key elite, top-notch sought after personalities, right? And I'm not saying this to brag, but this was just like an epiphany. I didn't write my book to get ranked higher in the Amazon's algorithm, but I just followed on my passion. Whatever small idea that I had germinated in my mind, I just acted on that, and then I moved forward. So still sky's the limit. I'm still scratching the surface, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that my past is not dictating where I am today and where I'm going. Whatever I'm able to dictate in terms of what I will be able to achieve in the future is because of certain actions that I'm taking today, right? So that is going to really influence my future outcome. And then the other point is that also do not necessarily keep on focusing on the outcomes. Learn to enjoy the process, like learn to enjoy the journey, and the more you start enjoying the journey, the more you will be able to enjoy the fruits of the labor, because the outcomes are going to happen as a byproduct of what you are doing today. So long as you are able to enjoy the journey, you will be able to really also enjoy the fruits of the labor, right? But on the other hand, if you keep on focusing on the outcomes and not enjoy the journey, then you will not really be able to get through some of the challenges, setbacks, so on and so forth. So that is what I was thinking about. Like, life is all about ripple effects. Whatever actions that we have taken in the past, that might have led us to somewhere where we are today. But if you are not happy with what your today is holding, you can always change that by starting to take certain actions in a concerted way, in a disciplined way, and you will be able to shape your journey. You will be able to shape your future, and then Last point is that enjoy your journey, enjoy the struggles, enjoy the setbacks, so that when you look back, you can become an example for other people. Signing off for now. Talk to you later.